short extra cover. Literally two men in shot, and then he has a short mid off, and he's still in my opinion trying to fire the ball into the pads of the batsmen and allowing them to get easy singles, easy ones and twos, because
and fours.
on the leg side. So he has to look at the plan that he's working with and see whether or not it's the right plan, or his field is set for the way he wants to bowl.
Again, an easy single there because of his drifting into the pad instead of. I'm wondering if the ball he's getting drift. He wanted the batsman to be driving.
But if he's getting drift, then he's just moved him. But that man, that short extra cover, he having two men there. One of them is wasted. He's moved him now into a slip position, and he's dropped another man all the way back down now on the square leg boundary. So he has a deep mid wicket and a deep square leg. Kadeem Phillip is at a straightish mid wicket, and here is he driving and out caught. So just as we are approaching lunch, the ball just pitched up to Scott and just driving in the air loosely, and the catch is taken by Amal Nathaniel, tumbling away to his left, and that's the end of Scott. Kenrick Scott goes for 28. Empire Nation, they're now 86 for 4.
Then more.
Abdi, I see that I've made you speechless because we were just about talking about that.
Is there any problem, any double lows taking place there? And Scott just easily given a catch to short extra cover. For no
apparent reason,
nothing.
because that didn't seem to be any devil at all in the pitch. Just a regular delivery by Kofi James outside the off stump, and he just drove it casually to the man at that short extra cover position.
Again, more now. He opens the door to Liberta, who could easily pick up 2 more wickets before
lunch. Yes, because Gianni De Silva is coming out, and you know, with the pressure of coming out just before lunch is about 12 minutes away, and it will then give Kofi James and the Blackhawks the opportunity to probably crowd him for a period of time early on, and look to put him under pressure. If I was the captain out there for the Blackhawks, I wouldn't give Gianni De Silva anything at all that is called, you know, ease. I would have brought in a man there at short leg, even somebody in front of his eyes, because it's just before lunch, and at this time you would want to put him under pressure. I think Captain Nathaniel is to me slightly letting him off the hook with this field that he has set, because he has not increased the pressure at all on Gianni De Silva. But let's see how it goes.
Now, there are many. A bowler could ask for that. Kadeem could have suggested from the knowledge, the captain himself, and but you know, it's one ball to finish over really, but at least you need to see man around the bat, and
at least you need to
provide that pressure.
Yeah, you need to indicate to him that you are going to put him under pressure. 86 for 4 at the end of over number 22.
And now Kadeem is into the attack, and we know the guile that he comes with just before lunch. Then more. This is really bad batting by Scott.
Yeah, Scott needed to stay there until lunch, until well after lunch as well, because that is what his team would have needed at this stage. 86 for 4. In terms of runs scored, the Empire Nation are going at a good clip, 86 for 4, because it's just 22 overs they would have batted. So the run rate is not the issue, but I think that the loss of Scott there, the 4th wicket there, is what is going to be part of the issue that the Empire Nation they're having. Because they're going at a rate of 3.91 per over, and for a 2-day competition, that is a good clip to be going at this stage. Kashaski John Lewis, he will have to regroup and try to survive until the lunch and interval. He gets a delivery from Kadeem Phillip that
I can assure you then more that they can't sleep on Kadeem.
Cannot
sleep on
because
Kadeem.
you're going to expect Kadeem Phillip has that quicker delivery that he sometimes fires in, almost like a pace bowler. So the batsmen will have to be very watchful, very mindful. And Kadeem Phillip has had a good season in terms of his bowling.
Yeah, and he can work out the batter. You know, he's so you really can't sleep on him. He has the slider. You got the one that could turn into you, and as I said, the quicker one that you mentioned. And at this period of in the game is crucial.
Just before lunch, Empire don't want to lose another wicket at this stage, so they would hope that these two batters can stay there and bat until the lunch and interval. To me, at this stage, Empire don't need to score any more runs. Right now they need to bat for lunch, get into the dressing room, have a regroup, have a rethink, and then come back out after lunch. That's a good-looking shot, though. Any time, and he's using his feet well there, is Kashaski John Lewis, and drove that one beautifully black past Kadeem Phillip for 4. That's a good-looking shot. Lunch on, not pending.
He plays good down the ground. You notice that. He plays
does.
straight well. But then again, I still believe that Kadeem missed the ball by not having this silly mid-off or fall short leg just before lunch. Applies some pressure.
Because that would have stopped him from using his feet.
That's right.
Knowing that he has somebody right under his eyes. But we're out here in the safety of the commentary booth. We sometimes we try to figure out what goes through the head of some of these players as we in terms of strategy. But Kadeem Phillip, he probably has another strategy so far. And
beautiful shot, played for 6.
He gets 4, but he's driving it 6. Correction.
6,
Yep. That time he's driving it well. So 10 runs from 2 deliveries for Kashaski John Lewis of Kadeem Phillip, and Kadeem Phillip probably just flighting on that occasion, and John Lewis was happy to hit him straight back over the top.
And if you notice then more, he didn't lose his shape. He's hold his form nicely and just play through the line.
When he's driving, he looks very good. He's a little bit suspect when the ball is a little short of a length or short, but he looks a good player when the ball is up to him. And it's good also to see positive play to spin.
Right.
That has been one of the problems of the season so far. If we were to look at, we saw them putting up earlier, and I'm hoping that we can get the bowling stats for the season so far, and it would be interesting to see the number of wickets that would have been had from slow bowling in this competition. So Kofi James is in a new over. He's bowling to Ziani De Silva.
Score is what, 94?
96 for 4.
Beautiful.
He's sweeping. He's going to get runs here. Gets 4. And again, Kofi James not bowling to his field. Has a packed offside field and keeps angling. That ball seems to be drifting into the pads of the Empire players. Because we've seen quite a bit of runs on the leg side from Kofi
But just
James.
before he got Scott, we were talking about that, and then he make some field adjustment when having the back of the square and the square leg, and then he go right back to and bowl right into the pad again. So I don't know if the wind is drifting the ball or he's delivering the ball correctly, into the area that he really wants, because the field is offside is well packed.
So the 100 has come up for Empire. They're 100 for 4. And he's driving again. De Silva, he's just going to get a run as he's driven it all the way out to the long off fielder.
That's not De Silva. De Silva just coming to bat, right? Okay. My bad.
So that's the Silva, the shorter of the two. And Kashaski, John Lewis. But Empire scoring 100 runs in the first 2 hours, that's a good clip.
Very good.
That's a very good strike rate.
Ooh. Well played.
Well played outside the line of the off stump. Read it well. And he seems to be a good player of spin too, John Lewis. And I'm happy for that because I like to see when batsmen are able to play spin.
Nicely tapped down to it.
Nicely done. He's going to get 2. Karima Gore giving the chase there for that one. But again, just showing a little bit a range of his stroke play.
Yes.
There in Kashaski. We've seen him drive. Now he's just showing a little bit
and
of
he was
touch.
in control of the shot. That's a good part of it. He was in the edge. He would just nicely. Ooh.
Went away from what he does well. He's playing across the line of that one there. And the ball was beating him into the gloves of the wicket keeper. But he is the kind of player that plays straight. Needs to stick with that. The end of the over has come up. 24 overs, 103 for 4. John Lewis is on 29 and Ziani De Silva on 5.
We'll say the game is basically in a balance. Empire is scoring pretty good. And Liberta has been picking up just quite a amount of wicket just before lunch. So it's basically in a balance. Yeah.
Yep. Even at this stage, I would say. I think though that if Liberta Blackhawks were to get another wicket before lunch, they would go into the dressing room thinking that they're in front.
Right.
Empire though would be happy because the scoring rate, like I said, has been pretty good.
And these 2 batters are scorers. De Silva also, he's
had a pretty decent tournament so far. Ziani De Silva, I think he's listed as the wicket keeper. So the wicket keeper batsman. And speaking of wicket keeper batsman, Rishabh Pant came back to cricket this morning.
Yeah,
playing in the IPL.
That's
Didn't
good.
get a big score, but it was good to see him back playing after
that
tragedy where he got into a car accident. And many thought that would have been the end of his cricket career. He was looking a little bit gingerly, in my opinion, as he came back out. But I was just happy to see him back playing.
So the Silva just pulls the ball into the square leg region for a single off of Kadim. As you watch Kadim again, this one is worked into the 45 region and shout no by De Silva.
And I don't find that Kadim bowls as well to left-handers as he does to right-handers.
No. Always been the case. Yeah.
Because his natural tendency is to push the ball towards what would be the offside for right-handers. When he bowls to left-handers, he sort of pushes it towards the leg side and gives them opportunity to score.
It's well played again. Well ball, well played. Good all round. 104 for 4. Empire's batting, win the toss and decided to bat. And we're seeing potentially a good final versus what we saw last week.
Yeah, in terms of the runs so far, runs scored, it looks as if we're going to have a lot more runs than what we saw last weekend. That looks to be the action before lunch. 25 overs bowled by the Liberta Blackhawks after Empire Nation won the toss and batted there. 105 for 4 at the luncheon interval. Ziani De Silva is not out on 6. Kashaski, John Lewis, he is not out on 30. And the honors even at the lunchtime, Abdel Hughes.
Yeah, very good lunch session. Unfortunately, we started late as the commentary wise, but wasn't a problem on our end from our commentary area. But nonetheless, we started and we see some good cricket then more. and we're hoping that it can continue through the duration of the 2 day that is presented to us.
So just before we go, let me just give you the scorecard. Tyrone Williams Jr., he was LBW Elroy Francis Jr. for 37. He had 7 fours. Tanis Francis, he was caught Joshua Thomas of Shamika Langiford for 1. Zavik Toppin caught Joshua Thomas of Javier Spencer. He didn't score. Kenrick Scott for an Enterprise in 28. He was caught Amal Nathaniel of Kofi James for 4 for 28 or 42 deliveries. He has 4 fours. And Kashaski John Lewis, he's not out on 30 with 4 fours and a 6. And Ziani De Silva facing just 6 deliveries. He's on 6 with a 4. So 105 for 4 at the luncheon interval. Javier Spencer 6 overs, 1 maiden, 20 runs, 1 wicket. Langiford 5 overs, 2 maidens, 18 runs, 1 wicket. Kofi James 7 overs, no maiden, 32 runs, 1 wicket. Elroy Francis Jr. 5 overs, 1 maiden, 22 runs, 1 wicket. And Kadeem Phillip 2 overs before lunch for 12 runs. So there you have it, 105 for 4, 25 overs as we take the luncheon interval.
Yeah, and just before we go, I was more impressed to see Elroy Francis Jr. spell, because he was a thought into his bowling, you know, and I like to see that. And then you have Tyrone Pacer Jr. Williams Jr. and Scott, who was set and just gave away their wicket by playing a rush shot.
So lots more action to come after lunch. You're listening and watching the ABCA 2-day finals at Pickett's, and we're going to take the luncheon interval, and when we come back we'll have more coverage. Stay tuned.